BuckeyeHuddle.com. Our southern swing continues. We have made it to the great state of Texas.
Yes, sir.
We are here at Lake Ridge High School in Mansfield, Texas, home to, for my money, opinions. You can have your own opinions. For my money, the number one offensive tackle in the country, Felix Ojo. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Just had a practice. It was a nice game out here, just competing with my guys and getting ready for the season.
Yeah, it looked like, obviously you guys were getting after it, but, no pads today.
Yes, sir.
Just a lot of just drill work and stuff like that, but very light on your feet, man.
Yes,
You've been working on those feet this offseason?
No, I've been always working on my feet, and I feel like just me playing basketball, that helps me with my feet and stuff like that.
Yeah. Like I said, it was easy to point you out when we got to the field. I didn't really have to look very hard. It's like a big 6'7" guy out there dancing around. But yeah, how's your spring going? Are there some areas of focus for you?
My spring going well. I say areas of focus is just really overemphasizing the punch with the left hand as a left tackle, and so I don't open my hips and create an edge for the quarterback that makes it uncomfortable for the quarterback. And I would say also just work on my steps and hand placement on different type of blocks. So that's really the emphasis of this spring ball.
Yeah. Last go around for you, man.
Yes,
You're
sir.
the veteran now. How's that feel? How's that hit you?
It's hit me hard. But it's a great achievement, a great responsibility that I have on this team, and just me stepping up into that leadership role and me being more vocal on this team, knowing that it's my last round and we want to go out with a bang.
Yeah, a lot of coaches through
Yes,
here
sir.
to get a little bump or a little wave.
Yeah.
Coach B here today from Oklahoma. What's that been like, I guess? Coaches just kind of flowing through the school, wanting to, learn more about you or watch you or whatever it might be. Where are things now? I know you've probably been asked this a million times, but what is your plan right now? What visits do you have scheduled as far as officials? Who's still alive?
I say right now my plan is to commit sometime before my senior season, sometime probably July, August time. And then I say visits I have right now I already took 3 OVs. I took Ole Miss. That was my first OV. Texas Tech. That was my second. Colorado last weekend. And then I have Florida. This week, and then Ohio State next week, Michigan, Texas, and OU to end it off.
Whew. You're taking the full advantage, man, of the new rules that you can just take. Wow. How do you handle that? That is just one after the other. Does it get tiring mentally?
I say it gets tiring a little, but it's like I'm living the dream that most people want to live. So I always don't take it for granted. I always just enjoy the experience.
Two-way job interviews, basically.
Yeah.
As far as that goes, your future and everything's kind of on the line a little bit when you go into these. How do you separate one from the other? You're going to have to eventually, but what are some things you look at on these visits? What are some things you kind of keep your eyes focused and ears focused on?
I really just say number one is relationship with coaches. What coaches are really genuine, what coaches are real, and what coaches are just lying to you and being fake. And I say number two, just really campus life, because I'm going to be there for 3-4 years depending on how my development goes, and really just being at a campus where I fall in love with it, and I fall in love with the culture, fall in love with the people there. And I say those are the two major things. And also development. What coaches are known for developing, what coaches can take my game to the next level to ultimately make me a first-round draft pick.
Yeah. So, obviously, we cover Ohio State. You're going to visit the Buckeyes again. What's your experience been like with Ohio State so far during the recruiting process, just relationships there, and kind of what's your thoughts on them so far?
I say my relationship with Ohio State has been great since day one, since I got the offer last summer in the summer camp. And I say just my relationship with Coach Fry, it was great. Before he left after he left to go to the coach with the Arizona Cardinals, the whole entire coaching staff hit me that same day. Coach Hardline, I've been in touch with Coach Hardline, the tight ends coach, Coach Bowen, Coach Dickey, Coach Johnson. So the relationship we've been building has been very great. I say just us and me and Ohio State, we have a great relationship building, and look forward to see where we go with this.
Yeah. So, what can you tell us about Coach Bowen, the person? He's new to us too. He was at Virginia Tech, and we're learning about him too. It feels like from afar, it feels like things have clicked pretty well there. You guys are hitting it off, but what can you tell us about him in that relationship?
I say me and my Coach Bowen's relationship is amazing. I say he's not only a great person, but a great offensive mind. He knows what he's doing, and when it comes to offensive line development, he played offensive line in college, and even though he hasn't coached offensive line, he still knows what he's talking about. He still knows everything about offensive line and just the development of that. And I say just with Coach Bowen, just having 2 other offensive line coaches that have years of experiences in college level and years of athletes that they produce since the draft, I say that really helps out the offensive line room over there.
Yeah, it's one thing a couple guys, we've talked to a bunch of linemen on this trip, ironically. One thing they've all kind of said is just the support that Coach Bowen has with some other offensive line, just in the one-on-one attention that allows guys to get in practice. Has that something that they've talked about with you? Has that appealed to you at all?
Yes, sir. That most definitely appealed, just knowing that if I go there, even though I'm coming in as a freshman, I'm still going to be getting a lot of attention, a lot of reps, and being able to really develop in the offseason. As unlike to some programs, where some programs, like, you're a freshman, you just have to sit behind, wait your turn.
Yeah. So you're going to go up there. What is there anything on that visit you feel like you need to see, or I guess what is your expectations, goals out of that visit for a place you already do know a little bit?
I say, like, I already seen most of the stuff over there. I've seen the facilities, campus. I've talked to Coach Day a lot. I've talked to everyone there. I say the main part, like me going on this OV, is really just talking with the players, talking to more of the players. I know a couple like John Sanchez, Carter Lowe, but I say just really like talking to more of the players and really just experiencing campus life, just being able to go around campus, experience campus life, like hang out with the players and stuff like that.
They've made Texas a priority, obviously, over the years. You know, some of the guys they've sent to the NFL from Texas. Is that something that's noticeable down here? Like, is Ohio State? You were in Big 12 country. Now you're in SEC country technically, but like, is there like a noticeable like vibe that like Ohio State's present around here? Or
I say like not really. Really. Like, I say, like, just because how many schools are in Texas and how many like powerhouses are in the state of Texas alone. I say, like, Ohio State is most definitely present. Like, don't get me wrong, but it's not as presentable as like some other places.
Then I guess what got you into you went up there to camp without an offer, right?
Yeah.
So like, why do that? Why go all the way to Ohio for that?
I'll just say this is a relationship. Before I even got the offer, I've been talking to them for months on end. I mean, just Coach Fry, he was really pushing for me to go out to camp. And then when I came up to camp, they offered me. And I say just the relationship factor, and the fact that even though they were at out-of-state school and they usually don't recruit like a lot of out-of-state players like that. Just like them reaching out and them making me priority that early on really stood out to me and my family. So that's why I consider them. And now they're in the final part of my recruitment.
How big of an impact is your family going to have on your decision? Just like who do you, I guess, confide in there? Like who's your people? I
say my mom and my dad are big factors in my decision. I say they're gonna have a say in my decision, but ultimately it's gonna come down to where my family feels I can thrive best at and where I feel I can thrive best at, and ultimately that's just to be really the deciding factor of all of this.
Impressions of Coach Day. He seems to be taking an interest to you. Maybe he's not heavily involved in every recruitment, but he seems to be involved pretty much in this one. So what your thoughts on your conversations with Coach Day, what you've gathered there?
I say Coach Day, the conversation I had with Coach Day, he's a great person. When it comes to offense, he knows what he's talking about with the offense. He knows how to develop, and I say just where my recruitment, he's just been telling me how like there's been a lot of grace to come out of Texas. There's been a lot of players that came through Ohio State that's from Texas, and like the difference, and then what separated them from like all the other recruits they recruit in Texas is like they chose to step out their comfort zone, chose to push themselves and push themselves in that culture to be great. So I say just him, that's really been his main message, and not only that, just like I'm a top priority for them, and I'm a must-have for Ohio State.
Last Ohio State-centric question here. Did you watch their national championship run?
Sir.
And I guess what was your impression? You may have a unique impression of that because they had to move their left guard, Donovan Jackson, out to left tackle. When Josh Simmons got injured, they had to shuffle a lot of things around. We're still able to kind of have a pretty good setup there in the playoff run. What were your takeaways from their run and just thoughts, observations of that?
I'll just say the first thing first, like the offensive line, like that was one of the most dominant runs in college football. When offensive line just that playoff season, especially with all the injuries they had, and then not only that, just the offense, how explosive the offense is, the play calling, I say it was great. And then not only that, just like the defensively, like if I were to go there, like you were playing against the best defense, like in practice day in and day out. So I feel like that's really helpful.
Yeah. Texas is definitely a factor with you.
Yes, sir.
I can't imagine they would be okay with you leaving the state. So what's their message to you? And how is that relationship going? And I guess how difficult would it be for you to leave the state in college?
I say University of Texas. I say their message to me is I'm the franchise player, that I'm a must-have for them in the 2026 class. And I say just the relationship, just like Ohio State, I've been talking to them since day one of my recruitment. Been talking to them for months almost like a year and a half now. So I say really like we've been building a great relationship with Coach Sark, Coach Flood, Coach DG, Coach Zolte, all the offensive line coaches over there, and just really the whole entire offensive staff. And I say like me leaving the state of Texas, I say I'm not opposed to the idea at all. Like if I were to leave the state of Texas, I would be comfortable with that decision. It really just ends up on like where I feel at home the best, and whether that's Texas, Ohio State, any other school.
Yeah. Oklahoma was here today.
Yes, sir.
What are they telling you? And that's another school that's had a lot of success recruiting Texas over the years, and seems to be a school you like. What appeals to you about Oklahoma?
I say what appeals to me about Oklahoma is just really Coach Beanembo's development factor. He's developed a lot of greats. He's sent a lot of people to the league, and he's one of the best, if not the best, offensive line coach in the business right now.
All right. Well, good luck.
Yes, sir.
You got a lot to sort out. You got a lot of options.
Yeah.
I don't envy you having to tell 9 of these coaches no and only one of them yes.
Yeah.
But congratulations on all your success so far. Thanks for doing this again. We appreciate it. We know the level of the recruitment that yours is at right now. We know how time can be tough to come by.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you doing this, and good luck on your upcoming visits.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yep. Appreciate you.
No problem.